teach you all today some of my favorite collage lessons, and I hope that you can follow along with me as I create a new project for you. This class today with the Pacific Art League and the SV Creates has come together to sponsor this class, and it's for kids who are 4 to maybe even 10 years old, and we're going to be using supplies that we have here on the screen, and I'm going to be showing you a very simple way to create a fun project at home. So for all the parents listening today, that I really would love to, for our next class, we'll be doing this every week at Wednesday at 1:30, that you show up with some similar supplies. Every week we're going to be doing a new project based on the items that you see here. We are mostly going to be using magazine paper, and this is a collage project where we're going to be looking through really cool magazines and finding different colors that we discover in magazines and using them to kind of really embellish and accentuate the drawings that we do. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about drawing, and every artist needs to know a little bit about drawing, even if you're not a great drawer or a sketch artist or a doodler. This is a great time to practice, and I'm going to show you how interesting things like these magazine paper can help you really build cool projects. And so today I'm going to be just going to describe to you the materials that we're going to use very briefly before we get going into our project. Most projects take a series of colors to kind of coordinate. So before we start, I like to have you guys take a little bit of time to kind of start to tear out some of the colors that you see here, like the reds and the yellows and the blues and the greens. And before we get going, it's really great to do a little preparation. And what that means is finding one particular color that you like, tearing it out of the magazine, and then we're gonna just rip those pieces of paper into really small strips and make really kind of like cubes of color. So if you have some magazines with you and a pair of scissors, it's a great way to start the process and start organizing yourself for this big project that we're going to do. Other materials that we have available that you will need for this class besides the magazines are again, scissors and a pen, and whatever kind of glue that you have available at your home office or studio or your classroom. Get rid of that. And other than that, it's a very, very simple project, guys. So if you're feeling like, oh, I don't have Elmer's glue, I only have glue stick, or I only have my big scissors or my kid's scissors, or I don't have a Sharpie pen, I only have a marker or a pencil. Listen, that's okay. Whatever you have today, it really will be just fine. And I encourage you to not get discouraged, because we're going to do a little drawing and a little bit of cutting out and a little bit of pasting today. All those things. And so with that being said, I'm going to jump into our first big project together. Thanks again for being here, everyone. This is again a class that's sponsored by the Pacific Art League and SV Creates, and we'll be doing this every week on Wednesday at 1:30. So I invite you to join along, and I'm going to jump right into some really fun drawing ideas for you guys. I love to do pictures of animals for my children. I have 3 kids of my own who are ages 7, 5, and 3, and so we do lots of collage practice in my house. And most parents at home have things like their phone that we sometimes as parents give to our kids to help them kind of while we're waiting in line or at the doctor's office or something like that. But these emojis that are on our mom and dad's phone are these really, really cool characters for creating interesting drawings and interesting characters for our collage projects. And today I'm going to pick a few of these characters, and then I'm going to draw them, and then I'm going to fill in my drawing with paper and with magazine squares. So I'm going to do a little doodling, and I hope that you can follow along. I've chosen two different projects today. One I think we're going to do is the ladybug, and I'll show you kind of the finished product of that. It's going to look something similar to this, and I will show you how I take a drawing like this on my phone, or if you have your mom and dad, you can look at their drawings, and then we're going to, or we have other interesting ideas, like we could draw a spider, which is also very kind of a little bit more ominous, but spiders are part of our environment, and they're also very kind of cool to draw. And you know, and then my favorite one I think for the day is my unicorn. And I think you guys who've seen some of my classes have seen me draw this unicorn. So I want to draw this unicorn today and show you how I do that using this little unicorn here on this page. He's gonna be my model. And I hope to have you guys follow along with me and see what you get. Learning to draw is a really, really fun tool. No matter if you're a big kid or a small kid or a grown up, it's really important to learn how to use your eye and learn how to look at something and use your hand and your drawing skills to really try to capture that. It takes a lot of practice, and if you are interested in art, or if you're interested in designing video games, or you're interested in architecture, or interested in anything creative, learning how to draw and learning how to use your eye to draw without any help or assistance is a really great skill. And I love to draw, and when I was a kid, when I was 5 years old, I learned that I love to draw. But the other thing that I really learned is that I needed to learn how to draw better. And some people think you're either born to draw or that you just you can't learn how to draw better. But I just think I'm a teacher, and I like to teach my kids all the little lessons that I've learned along the years to be able to draw things, and then also not be too upset if I make a mistake. Okay, that's the other big lesson that I want everybody to understand today, is that it's okay to make a mistake, and mistakes happen. And the fun thing about using collage paper, guys, is that it is okay to make a mess, and it is okay if we mess up a line on our drawing and we have to start again. So don't get discouraged. It's okay, and if you need lots of pieces of paper and things get a little messy today, do not worry. I think that just means that you're well on your way to learning and getting better. So without further ado, I'm going to draw a little drawing, and I want you to follow along. I'm going to place this little horsey to show you where I'm making my lines and how I'm making my decisions. And I'm just drawing this really freehand, and some people have lots of tools, like learning how to go over the top, you know, with the tracing paper or something like that. But it all is good. You know, lots of practice, any way you can get it is just fine. I really break down drawing into a simple group of lines, like straight lines and curved lines. And so right now I'm going to draw a straight line that's going to be the top of his nose. And then I'm going to draw a curved line that's going to show where his mouth goes. And following along what I see, I encourage you to follow along with me. We're now going to make a little line down on the unicorn's neck there, right here. I'm going to go right here and then make another eye. And I see that. It's a big circle, and another small circle inside there. And already I'm starting to feel like, oh no, did I make a mistake? Did I draw his nose weird? Or And I don't want you guys to just to crumple up your paper and throw it in the garbage and say, I can't draw. You know, there's lots of time when you're starting your drawing to see how things are going to develop. So stay positive, and it really is a, you know, something that you need to develop over time. So even if I think I've made a mistake, I keep drawing and I keep trying and I keep trying to refine my artwork so that it looks more and more like the photo that I'm working from. So I'm from the next part. I'm going to do the big nose that he has, the big unicorn, and I'm going to do some curved lines just to show that that's kind of a little swirly on top of his nose there, a little crown. I'm going to give him one ear, and then I'm going to give him another ear, and then I'm going to make a big squiggly swirly line on the back, and this will be his hair and his mane. And then on the bottom here, I'm just going to do a little swoop, and you see that there's a little different way to do that. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do another couple of swirly, squiggly lines, and there's really no right or wrong way to do that. But all of a sudden, you see that that's what we have in front of us here, guys, is the unicorn. And there's lots of different little elements that I can come in here and kind of decide what I like. I see that he's got this little tuft of hair here, right over the top of his head, just coming up between his ears. And I will make little extra drawings and details, and I just decide that this part of his crown needs to be like a darker color. But really, from this point on, I feel very confident that I have drawn a unicorn. And what's great about unicorns, as we all know, is that they are you know, they're not, you don't find them in nature, so there's lots of opportunity to do different cool colors and to really make your collage stand out. So let's go do that now, guys. Let's start to embellish our collage. And as you see here on the other end, I chose this first color. What my daughter did is she came in here and she actually did some painting on the inside, and she decided to paint the unicorn blue. I think that's a great choice. Today I think I'm going to do something a little different, and I'm going to use magazine paper, and so I'm going to color the horse with the magazines, I'm going to color the eye, and then I'm going to color the background of the horse, and I'm going to make different decisions that don't have to be just like nature. You don't have to make a unicorn look just like a horse. You could make it more like it's a fantasy, or it's like in a princess world, or really just add a lot of color to make your unicorn special. And so if you're not interested in unicorn, before I fill this in, I just wanted to say, I just step back a real quick minute, that there's really great ideas to create emojis and drawings with really interesting other animals. Here's the horse. Here's like a wild boar and a duck and a little chickie, and so, you know, I encourage you to maybe draw 2 or 3 of these. I really was enjoying the bee yesterday, and if we have a little more time in class, maybe we'll do a bee, or we could do a bee on another session. But as you can see, the colors that are in the insect or on the animal are going to tell us what kind of magazine paper we now have to go look for, and what we have to collect within this project to make this unicorn a more than just a drawing. We want to fill it in, and we want to fill it in just the way we would with if we had a paint, or if we had color crayons. So, you know, I have some different colors here that I like, and I think I'm going to start using those right away. You know, I did some pre-sorting, and I like this red color. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to just fill in, instead of working on the horse right away, I'm just going to fill in the background. And it's really going to I'm going to go up all across these edges, and I'll show you guys what I do is I use my my glue and my scissors, and I really get in here and I start making little like little stamp size squares. And so if I have a strip of paper like this, what I will do is I will come in here and I will cut really maybe even smaller than stamps, but almost like half a stamp, or even like thumbnail size squares, really, really small there. And I will show you that kind of real close there. That's a thumbnail kind of size piece of paper. And what that allows me to do when I go really small is it's going to allow me to go really tight up against the ink drawing that I did. And instead of being really, allowing my pieces of paper when I glue them to just be, I'll show you how I'm gonna take my glue stick, which is if you have glue stick, I really think that this is a great way to do your collages if this is the first time you've ever done it. The Elmer's glue is okay, but really I think for the younger kids and for youngsters, glue stick is what we know, and it really works great for projects like this. I'm gonna really lay this down when I've glued the back of that magazine, and then it's sticky, and while it's sticky I'm gonna go right up against my drawing, and if you can see that, how tightly and closely I didn't go over the line. And I know kids have heard that from day one, don't go over the lines, and usually I say that's you don't have to worry about that, but for this case, staying in the lines is a really good thing because it will wreck your drawing, and then you won't know where your unicorn starts and where the background stops. So, I have this great little palette of colors that I have in front of me, and I'm always thinking about maybe what I can do to incorporate some of the colors that I want to use in here. But while I'm thinking about what colors I'm going to put inside the horse itself, I'm continuing to cut little tiny squares, and sometimes these squares get really, really small. And I'm going to go all the way around the horse, and all the way around his muzzle, and all the way around his neck, and all the way down, and that's going to take me a little bit of time. Finding enough of the color that I need for this particular project, the red, is just sometimes you can't just find all the colors that you want right away. You really do have to go inside a magazine and look for them. So if I have a nice magazine that I'm looking for, oh, here's some red, I can use that, and I'll tear that out. Oh, I could use that for later. That's great. And then I'm thinking about, I really could use some more yellow too. So it's great for me to I kind of start stocking up and thinking about my project as I'm going here. I'm definitely going to need this eye is going to be filled in with some black squares. So this is a really great circle that I might be able to use. You see that, and how I can maybe just cut out around this eye and make it fit right in here. So I will do that now, just to show you lots of different ways that you can find the magazine material that you need for your project. It's really, really a lot of fun. Where you go and you're painting, there's all your colors and all your paint is right there in front of you. But when you're creating collage, you're creating these magazine strips, and you're using paper. And so it's just a little bit of a different process, and again, it really can be quite messy, but what's really fun is that if you mess up, it's really easy to fix. If I did go over the line here on his eye, or I lost where, oh man, I put this little circle in the middle and it was so perfect, and then I messed it up. Gosh, what am I going to do now? So I'm gonna glue that black square right on his eye, and I think, oh no, I messed up. What am I going to do now? Well, it's almost like creating a hamburger layer or a sandwich layer, where magazine is really great because it's already dry. I'm not going to get glue everywhere. If I want to do another layer on top, it'll be really easy, and And same goes with the red background. If I wanted to decide, you know what, I really don't like that background now. I want to do something different and a little more, you know, I don't know, something different. I haven't decided. Then what is great about magazine and what's different about that than paper, you know, like painting, is that you have to kind of wait for painting to dry before you start adding or applying new, you know, new paint on top of layering. And so what's great about this is you saw me put this eye down, and that is just so effective right away. And you just can tell that that horsey's got a personality, and he looks happy. And I almost messed up, but I didn't. I fixed it, and I was able to save it. So I just want to show you guys that there's lots of ways to continue to make your drawing better and better. If you feel like you messed up, again, always think about drawing a couple of different versions of your horsey or your Mario or your Sonic or your princess or whatever it is that you decide to do. Today we're doing emojis, but there's lots of other, you know, Disney characters and you know the X-Men and all the comic books and all that stuff. All these same rules really apply. So if you're really not into horsies or unicorns or emojis, this is really a great tool to learn anyway. And I think it's really, really fun. And it's something that you can do without your mom and dad. Something that you can do all by yourself. And it's a really fun project. So I'm just showing you guys that I just decided right on the spot, I was not happy with the red that I did there. And so instead of pulling it all off or ripping it all off or tearing it all down and saying, I just don't like the way my art's looking, I'm just going to go right over the top and create this new sandwich effect, okay? And you see I'm going right up against the line of my drawing, and then I just put it right there, put it really hard with some force, and I push that glue down, I push that magazine paper really hard right down onto the paper, and then I let it rest, and I don't mess with it anymore, and I don't move it anymore, and then it's there, and I know it, and I can just look at it just like I painted it with a paintbrush, and you can just tell. I can now look at this picture, and I can just see, okay, that's a different kind of effect. So the red was really bold and it was really bright, and so doing a different color here really changes the mood of your drawing. So magazine is great for that. It's really, there's so many different things that you can add. There's textures and there's different shapes, and you can look into nature to really find interesting things to help you kind of design this hairstyle and to create this, like, you know, texture. Instead of drawing texture, you can actually go in and find real hair from an advertisement or from a story in a magazine, and then you can add it, and it really can help you make a very realistic and captivating portrait. So again, I just wanted to show you what the final product could be. Here is our unicorn that we're doing today with simple materials like glue and scissors and paper, and it really doesn't have to be much more complicated than that. But there are so many great ways to jump off to make this project your own, and from whatever age you're coming from, there's a lot of great projects that can be done with this. So I'm going to leave you guys here with that today. We've run out of time. Thank you so much for joining me and joining the Pacific Art League and SV Creates. We'll be doing this class every week at 1:30 on the link on Pacific Art League's website. So if you are interested next week, please register again, and we will see you then with a brand new collage art lesson. Please also send in your projects that you're working on. If you've been working on this together with me, the Pacific Art League would love to see your progress and get your feedback about this class. If you want to see us doing different things or different projects with collage, please email me. My name is Samuel Price. You can find me on my Instagram at Samuel S. Price, and also on my website at mydogcollage.com, where I offer a custom masterclass and lots of other great information about my work and about me. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we will see you next time. Have a great week. Bye-bye.